Hello. Welcome. So we're back with the Goblin Reads. We're back with an update. Puck, I know you're excited. I'm not. We're back with another one of Steve's blogs updating about sort of what's gone on with him. This is the fourth one. We've done all three already. They're in the Katie Joy playlist. For anybody who's interested, there is a sort of what's gone on with Katie Joy, at least what I've followed for the most part. There's a playlist if you guys are interested. This video will be part of that playlist, is part of that playlist. We also now have what I said, viewer's choice. So we'll do a live stream sitting around reading or watching whatever video you guys choose if we ever make it to the end of this goal. Right now the goal it's got 40 days because I want this to be like a monthly goal, but if it's not a month, like whatever ends up happening with it happens with it. I'll probably end up just resetting it and extending it for whenever it does reach that amount, but it made me pick a time, so I picked the end of November. So that's what's going on with that. Well, let's just jump in right into this. Like I don't have any other updates, so let's just take a look. Katie Joy Paulson and Legal Proceedings, My Truth Part 4. This is from Steve, from his Great Debate community. The link to the actual blog is below. I have consulted with my attorneys, and they have given me specific guidance on what I can discuss when it comes to my legal actions against YouTuber Katie Joy Paulson, aka Without a Crystal Ball, WOACB, in order to ask for financial service in my legal action against Ms. Paulson. While I do have some funding available, I am starting a new job next week to pay for legal expenses. It will probably be a few months at least until I am able to file in state court my complaint, as is much more difficult to cover legal costs now that Ms. Paulson has filed a responsive countersuit against me. So basically, Steve served her, then Katie served a countersuit in response. And even though I can show beyond any shadow that her countersuit contains objectively false allegations, it is still substantially going to raise the cost of my legal actions against Ms. Paulson. Legal action that I have taken to restore my reputation and show beyond all doubt in a court of law that all of Ms. Paulson's allegations against me are not just without evidence, merit, or cause, but are not even in good faith and are in fact retaliatory in nature. With that in mind, I would first like to give a brief overview of history based upon previously public information with Ms. Paulson for those who may be new reading my blog or are unfamiliar with my content on YouTube. In 2017, myself and Kyle R. Curtis started a podcast and YouTube channel called The Non Sequitur Show. During the run of the show, my then business partner invited Ms. Paulson onto the show to discuss a topic called Jilly Juice. Specific details can be read on My Truth Part 1, which I've also covered. Flash forward about 9 months later, Kyle made some of the worst decisions ever made by a YouTuber, and on June 11th, 2019, Kyle decided to try to remove myself and our producer, Bullionator, Bulls in the chat, from the show, effectually embezzle all profits, about $60,000, from the show, and blatantly lie to the fans about why he tried to steal the show from myself and the producer. I have been now in litigation with Mr. Curtis for 2 years. During these proceedings, Mr. Curtis was found liable for fraud, fraudulent conversion, breach of contract, breach of fiduciary duty, as well had apparently submitted altered evidence to the court, forged signatures, and lied under oath during depositions and in affidavits that he submitted to the court. Prior to these proceedings, Mr. Curtis and Ms. Paulson co-hosted a show on the Non Sequitur Show channel called The Smoking Nun. I reviewed the very first episode of The Smoking Nun on one of my Keeping Up with Katie Joys. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's pretty awful. In a live chat, made a Smoking Nun, which they continued to stream to the channel June 17th, 2019, even after Kyle attempted to steal the channel. On June 15th, 2019, Ms. Paulson, in a live chat, made completely out of the blue allegations that I had sexually harassed her, and allegations which she later denied ever making, claiming instead that I merely supposedly said things that she felt were inappropriate. Miss Paulson never produced any evidence for these allegations, changed her stories multiple times, and even fairly recently not just claimed she was sexually harassed, but that I had hit on her. None of which ever happened. I know beyond any doubt that Miss Paulson has absolutely no evidence to substantiate these allegations, but in addition, I know that I can effectively show in court they are categorically incongruent with historical facts. However, my lawsuit isn't directly about those false allegations, but they are tangentially related. I wrote my first blog entry concerning Miss Paulson, link above, on May 21st, 2020. A month or so later, Miss Paulson attempted to silence me by filing a completely frivolous TRO against me. In her filing, Miss Paulson specifically claimed things which were absolutely completely untrue, as such claiming that Miss Paulson and I were in the same room together when I supposedly sexually harassed her, and that I abused her son, and that I unlawfully took photos of her and her child. I have never been in the same room as Miss Paulson, nor ever been in the same state as Miss Paulson nor her son. You can read about how Miss Paulson phrasing things to completely change context here in my second blog, which I also covered. I obtained legal counsel to fight her TRO, which was mutually dismissed. And as I have noted publicly, I signed an NDA in order to eventually file a lawsuit against Miss Paulson for falsely accusing me of fraud, medical fraud, and sexual harassment. A few months ago, I initiated legal action against Miss Paulson for both prior and more subsequent claims against me. While I am prohibited by legal counsel to go into depth of my allegations against her, I can superficially say my case is defamation per se, which can be objectively shown is in fact per se on face value of her claims being not just false, but some claims to be impossible to be true. Link to part 3. So without going into much specificity, I can either say, I can further say that Miss Paulson's countersuit continues to make completely false allegations against me, such as accusing me of fabricating screenshots which unequivocally never happened, releasing information which my TRO attorney said I was within my rights to release, and claiming I falsely accused her of fraudulent fundraising, all of which not only do I have affirmative defenses for. It's the neighbors. Puck, they live here, asshole. Puck, get down. Get down. There you go. Good boy. I know, life is hard. Life is so hard when you're a puppo. If anybody was falling asleep during the stream, good morning. They live here. He's like, no, they don't. Fake news. Okay, where was I? He kind of a little almost spooked me there for a second. I wasn't ready for that. Jeez, dude. Puck, they live here. Stop. Come here. Come here. Oh, I know. Sit down. Lay down. Stop. Enough. Oh, I know. Like this summer. Stop. Stop. Oh. Stop. Enough. Thank you. I know life is so hard. Oh my goodness. Alright. He does. He just wants company to come see him. You're correct, he does. He just wants to make friends. That's not how you make friends. You don't make friends by yelling at people. You got a toy? Good boy. Alright. So without going into much specificity, I can further say that Ms. Paulson's countersuit continues to make false allegations against me, such as accusing me of fabricating screenshots, which I was doing so well, and I just got completely derailed. Yeah, you notice Puck is sassing me? It's a sass master. Oh, okay. Yeah, Puck's in the chat, by the way, if you guys got it. Paulson's countersuit continues to... I need a minute. I need a minute now. I was doing so well. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. All right. Just sitting on the couch now. I think I feel like I'm gonna start and he's gonna go off again. One of my favorite things about Puck is that he is sassy sometimes, and so he'll like, you'll tell him to lay down and he'll do it, but he'll do so begrudgingly as he's just like, fuck you. Alright. Okay. So without going into much specificity, I can further say that Miss Paulson's countersuit continues to make completely false allegations against me, such as accusing me of fabricating screenshots, which unequivocally never happened, releasing information which my TRO attorney said I was within my rights to release, and claiming I falsely accused of her fraudulent fundraising, all of which not only do I have affirmative defenses for, but overwhelming exculpatory evidence to show a jury. So, the one that's interesting about this is, or at least what I think is interesting about this a little bit, is the releasing information which my TRO attorney said I was within my rights to release. So, if Steve did release something that he was not allowed to or was not supposed to be able to or shouldn't have released, if he has permission from his attorney, Steve wouldn't be the one at fault there. The attorney who advised him would be the one at fault there. So that's how that works. These and other allegations can prove in a court. I can prove in a court of law have directly harmed my standing in the community, both financially and reputationally. I can also show that Miss Paulson's continual attacks on content creators critical of her, or those who speak out against her, extend not just to me, but to multiple other creators and critics. I'm actually kind of impressed that I've managed to stay off her radar a little bit. I don't know how, but I'm not complaining. I just need the opportunity to present my case as well as defend myself in a court of law in front of an impartial and objective jury, and that is why I am now asking for community support. I believe this case will probably take approximately $30,000 to $40,000 and will be quite a bit more drawn out if I have to fund all of it myself. I have 9 more months to file in Minnesota court, and I have gone back to work to help cover legal costs. I have already spent over $8,000 of my own personal funds thus far to get this case in a written complaint and to respond to her frivolous countersuit. So if I can raise at least $10,000 to $15,000, it would be incredibly helpful to me in my legal funding, as unfortunately her countersuit against me has effectively doubled my initial predictions of the cost of this case. But I do expect not to just win punitive damage, but full legal costs as well. Raising $20,000 would be beyond amazing, as I also have to pay for my own expenses to fly to Minnesota, which I was fine with for jurisdiction for the trial if it is not virtual, as well as cover the costs of depositions, which will immediately follow discovery. I should note depositions are under penalty of perjury, as Kyle clearly didn't fully appreciate the ramifications of lying under oath. Yeah, basically, like, if he gets to 20 grand, it basically just takes a lot of weight off of him to be able to focus on getting things done and getting things moving forward, so he doesn't have to deal with any kind of financial stress. Smitty. Cheshire's not to be trifled with. I mean, there's been a couple people. It has not gone well for them. To tell you how strong I believe my case is, I am going all in here. I am willing to put it all on the line to restore my reputation against Miss Paulson's maliciously false allegations, and believe a jury will see Miss Paulson did in fact commit multiple counts of defamation per se by willfully and maliciously making false statements that she knew to be false at the time of making, or at the very least knew that she had absolutely no evidence for her allegations at the time she made them. I've still noticed a very, very deafening silence from everybody that KJ was friends with from the Non Sequitur show. People that claim to be advocates for things like Me Too and things like women's rights, and you would think that maybe, or like skepticism and the truth and caring about that kind of stuff, you would think that maybe you would be hearing from some of these people, but no. Nope. Nothing. Although I can't show my legal strategy publicly, it will be shown to Miss Paulson and her attorney via my legal counselor during discovery. I would like this to happen as soon as possible, as I have no doubt Miss Paulson has no evidence of her allegations, as her accounting of events simply never happened, and that my exculpatory evidence combined with the truth is a complete affirmative defense. I have also given my attorney my enumerated conditions for any settlement, of which I have little to no hope of Miss Paulson accepting. I am therefore that should be I therefore, not I am therefore. I therefore will be asking for a jury trial for defamation per se, which would not just contain general and special damages, but punitive damage as well. I also explicitly expressed that I want everything public, as I want all to eventually be able to compare the verticality of my evidence as compared to hers, so people can reach their own conclusions. However, unlike the Non Sequitur showcase, which was tried not just in legal court but also the court of public opinion, in my legal proceedings against Miss Paulson, I only intend on trying it in a court of law, as a victory there would be complete vindication for me, as well as possible significant compensation. I believe most people will understand this decision, and is why even in this part 4, I haven't said much that I have not previously made public by myself or by Miss Paulson. But I'm not going to make my legal strategy public, and I just hope people accept that, and are still willing to help fund my lawsuit. If not, I completely understand, and maybe more will after the case becomes public, after filing in the Minnesota state, where I will completely back up everything I have said to date with evidence. It's possible that we might get to see the lawsuit before it goes public, because it was pocket service. I know Steve is talking to his lawyer about that, so if that does become available, I will be going over it here, so, like and subscribe and all that fun crap, and hit the bell so you know. I should also note that mine is not the only suit being levied against Miss Paulson. Todd Chrisley from Chrisley Knows Best is apparently also doing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Miss Paulson for her apparently defamational allegations against Mr. Chrisley, and is another reason I would like to get my lawsuit filed and in front of a jury ASAP. As I am not suing for nearly those amounts, I want to make sure Miss Paulson has some means to pay off a judgment against her should I be awarded one, which I very strongly believe I will be. I just don't think there will be much left to recover after Mr. Chrisley is done with Miss Paulson. I mean, I think that's probably fair. if you would like to support my case against Miss Paulson, help ensure justice is done, not just for me, but for others as well, that I believe Miss Paulson has defamed, attempted to silence, and misused the legal system to do so, then please consider donating to my GoFundMe. Every dollar is appreciated, and I will be having multiple thank you streams to thank donors. I thank all of you for your continued support and faith that I have told the truth, continue to tell the truth, and will continue to tell the truth in perpetuity. Heart, and then Steve McRae. Here's the explanation of all funding will go to legal costs, transportation filings, mailings, and or other uses I deem required to obtain justice and fair compensation from Ms. Paulson. Other ways to donate is via PayPal or become a member of my YouTube channel, where I'll be giving updates on the case, receipts provided upon request. If legal fees are awarded by a jury, anyone donating $100 or more wishing a refund, it will be provided to them with no questions asked, as not to double funding. So basically, Steve is saying that if I get awarded all of this money and I get this money back, I'm going to give it back to you guys if you want it. If you tell me you don't want it, okay, that's fine. Thanks. But if you want it, here it is. I'm requesting funding from GoFundMe to have justice, not for profit. Fundraiser link. So now we get to the fun part. So it's very clear about what's going on, why things are happening, and then just being like, I think this is very clear and concise about what's going on, what happened in the past, how we got here, and where we're going. It's certainly concise. But, whoo! This is where we get into shenanigans. That's the GoFundMe link. I wonder what happened. Chat, would you like to venture a guess as to why the donation link goes here? Do you guys like to venture a guess? What might have happened? Well, if you're not sure, let's take a look-see, shall we? Oh! Look who it is! Look at who's out here supporting Katie Joy. Imagine supporting Katie Joy in 2021. Huh. With 3 fraudulent fundraisers busted, here they go again. Another fundraiser with a special catch-all. All funding will go to legal cost, transportation, mail filings, or any other use I deem required. Ellipses. He can spend it on anything. $20,000. So fun thing about that. You notice something? You noticed something? You notice something real quick here? Real quick? Quote. All funding will go to legal costs, transportation, filings, mailings, and any other use I deem required. Ellipses. What a weird required ellipses. Well, what did it say? What did it say? All funding will go to legal costs, transportation, filings, mailings, and or any other use I deem required to obtain justice and fair compensation from Miss Paulson. Why did that get left out? Oh, weird. Why? I don't know. Jeez, shucks. Jeez, guys, I don't know. Oh, darn. Like, if you're gonna try and falsely claim that Steve's fundraiser is fraudulent, thus triggering your audience, which is larger than his, by the way, if you're going by channels, you would probably do best to do a better job. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why this could have happened. It's not like people were saying it was fraudulent and would be talking to their audiences and enticing them to report it or anything. Would they? oh, he saw your, at Nate the lawyer, he saw your tweet on this and deleted the campaign. I'm sure he withdrew the thousands first. That's not how GoFundMe works. You idiot. That is not how that works. If he, GoFundMe has to take it down in that regard and in that way. And Steve doesn't read Nate's tweets, so no, he didn't. Oh, gee, I wonder what could have happened here. I don't know. It looks like Unirock and Nate are out here trying to protect Katie Joy by trying to cripple Steve. And they're also just trying to cripple Steve. Who can't get over somebody else being successful? Who is it that's obsessed with other people? Who is that again? Who's Who wasn't pushing Kyle's fraudulent fundraiser and helping out Kyle commit fraud? Who was that again? Big brains. Big brains. Basically, my guess of what's going to happen when it comes to the fundraiser link, which I will also put in the description down below if I didn't put it already. I think I already put it. It'll be back up. It'll be back up as soon as GoFundMe verifies, because what'll happen is they'll flag it, then Steve will give them all the information, and then they'll put it back up. And that's what'll happen. And he can't withdraw the money that way. That's not how GoFundMe works. Shocking. I know it's shocking. But yeah, if you're gonna bullshit and like lie to people and try to infer and pretend that something is fraudulent to incite people to report it so that it gets taken down, so you can, defriend your best buddy KJ over there. Do a better job, or any other use I deem required, to obtain justice and fair How interesting that he has to cut it out halfway through this sentence. We've never seen them do that before, have we? Wow. Anyway, shenanigans are afoot. It's that easy to get someone's shit taken down. Well, the thing is like, it's not taken down. It's not available right now. There's a difference, right? But basically what'll happen is there'll be a pause on it. It will show, it'll look like this. They'll verify with Steve. They'll ask Steve to send them the information. He'll send them the information. They'll verify the information, and then it'll be back up. That's what'll happen. That's my prediction at the very least. But gee, when Chesh isn't even angry, just disappointed, that's even right. I'm not mad. Of course, we knew this was gonna happen. They're predictable. But I'm just like, do better, please. Do a better job. God damn. This is just sad. Like, I shouldn't be able to, like, it shouldn't be this easy to just put these two things beside each other. Anyway. It'll only go down for now. It'll be back, then reported again. Well, the thing is like, once they verified it, reporting it won't get it taken down again because they've already verified it. So reporting it again and again, every time it goes back up, won't do anything. If anybody's got any questions, by the way, I will take questions right now. Now is a good time for questions. So we'll have like a little bit of a back and forth, and then I will get on out of here. But just proves they know they are liars. They are so afraid to be proven wrong and the truth being exposed in the lawsuit. I hope Steve's case wins even more now. Yeah, I mean, if you want to piss off Unirock, or you want to piss off Nate, or you want to piss off Katie Joy, send money to Steve for his lawsuits, because like there's nothing that these people are very, very, very sore losers, because not only are they sore about losing, but they're also losers. So and they're just in a state of consistently losing. So Nate doesn't care if he gets disbarred. He has no intention of ever practicing again. That could be the case. I wonder if then he would have to change his Twitter name. How's the tea? Good. This is green tea. I've been enjoying it. I've basically been switched over to green tea, and there is no sugar and no milk, so I've, like, cut out sugar and milk for the past, like, I don't know, 2 weeks. So, that's been interesting. I'm late. I'll go back to the beginning. Okay, well, for a second I thought you were going to ask me to start from the beginning. I'll read it all over again. Has he ever actually practiced or just used having the license for clout? Well, you'll have to talk to him about that. Trying to parse what is and is not the case when it comes to somebody this fucking dishonest is not easy. So, if you would like to find out information about what is and is not true about this particular YouTuber, I'm not convinced he really was a lawyer in the first place. Maybe he worked at a law firm and filing paperwork or something. I don't know. I don't know. Mark asks, if reporting it once means it won't be reported again, are they doing Steve a favor by reporting it now and protecting it in the future? We kind of knew this was gonna, we knew that this was gonna get, falsely flagged and reported, and so, in a way, yes. In a way, yes. I would say so. It can't be reported later. It's not, it'll stop there being any kind of delay with Steve withdrawing money when he's ready to withdraw from it, because there won't be any, the verification will have already been done. So it's just a matter of, we're just gonna do this now instead of later. Yeah, best to get out of the way early, yeah, Smitty. Nancy asked, why is Uni and his friends all hellbent on Steve? They're constantly saying his name and talk about him. Weird. Why? So I did a video called, The Gordian Knot of McCrazies, and I certainly recommend, watching that. That will certainly give you a little bit more context, particularly if you're new. If you're new, you're coming over from the drama, the drama communities, or if you're coming around from Katie stuff or sadly Gabby stuff, anything like that. I definitely recommend this video as sort of a starting point, so you kind of have a little bit more of an idea of what the fuckery. So here's the link. I'll put it in the chat for you. I definitely recommend checking that out. But it's mostly that Steve told them they were wrong once about something, and he was correct, and they've been mad about it ever since. And depending on who you're talking about will depend on what exactly he said that they were wrong about. That's about it. This is what the blog looks like normally, by the way. I had it on read mode. It was a little bit prettier than that. By the way, Steve has already thanked everyone for their donations. Yes, he's been thanking people as far as I'm aware. Given Nate's dog shit legal takes, he either wasn't a lawyer or he was a terrible one, and or he just hates Steve. I ran 3 fundraisers this year. The front page doesn't go down like that during verification. Oh, if you can verify that, because I've seen that happen before for ones getting reported. Something, 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 those who gaze into the abyss. Yeah, you're not wrong. That's about right. I definitely recommend the Gordian Knot of McCrazies video. That will certainly help you. Nancy, I've seen you a few times. I like how you handle all the stupidity. Thank you. I feel like I need more cope. I need more copium. In my real life. God. I'm just, every so often I get, PTSD flashbacks from having conversations with Gary. I'll put it this way. I spoke with G-Man in a one-on-one, and G-Man was more of a pleasant conversation Gary was just like, okay, back to step one. We're going around again. We keep going around again. I recommend you mass download all of Chesh's videos in HD and binge them. All of them? That would be, I don't even know if I would recommend that. Why would you download them? Wait a minute, hold on, don't download them. Wait, hold up. I did have fun, I did have fun taking the piss at a science first that one day. That was fun. I had fun with that. That was a good one. I never supported Kyle. Types in Kyle's name in search bar. Oh, look! God, no, there's like a handful of these people that's just like, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Like, again, I'm not an absolutist. I need the views. Yeah, Twitch, thank you. I need the views, man. Don't do that. Well up. When G-Man is the less insane option, you know you fucked up somewhere along the line. Mm-hmm. There's a, I'm not an absolutist when it comes to, like, most, like, things you would consider right or wrong. Like, I don't think that it's always absolutely wrong to steal. I don't think that's necessarily the case. And I think the same way about lying. I don't think it's necessarily always wrong to lie, right? But there are wrong ways to lie. Like, this is what I call lying poorly. And I don't know how stupid you have to be to lie like this. Because you're either thinking your audience is so goddamn dumb that people are gonna fall for it, or people who aren't your audience are gonna fall for this shit. And so, to be fair, in Nate's regard, a lot of the people who follow him around and talk about this shit believe him by fiat because they want something else out of it, right? They want the confirmation bias, right? But like, being dumb enough to think that anybody actually believes this, or would believe you if you said it, is one level of dumb. Then there's the other level of dumb of just the thinking that this would work, and then the being dumb enough to lie about it, right? It's so stupid. It's poor. You tried to do your job and you did it poorly. You've been lying about Steve for years. You should be better at it by now. You've had plenty of practice. If you're going to lie, do a good job. Don't lie poorly. Dear God, I don't really mind if people lie to me most of the time, because if you lied well, I don't know, and I don't care. How do I give a shit about a lie that I don't know is a lie, right? But if you lie poorly, I'm just insulted. Don't insult my intelligence. I've got a 62 IQ and I can figure this shit out. So anybody falling for what Nate did here, congratulations. You have lower than a 62 IQ. Good job, champ. Fucking cuts it off in the middle of the goddamn sentence. What a fucking troll. I just think it's funny. How can people donate? Well, the GoFundMe is down. You can just send money directly to Steve's Patreon, or not Patreon. You could send money to Steve's PayPal, which is linked on his channel. You can also become a member on his channel or send super chats. Now, YouTube's going to take a cut of that, but it is what it is. GoFundMe takes less of a cut. It'll be back up, I'm sure. Although, to be fair, I also haven't heard from Steve all day today because, you know, he's working his job that he said he got so he could cover his own legal fees as best as he could. So, I don't know. I haven't heard from Steve. He's been away and busy and, you know, working. Yeah. Excuse me. I can't go on live tour. So Smitty said, I'm way too much of a pirate. If Chesh wants to make money, she can go on a live tour. You have any idea how excited I would be if I got to go on a live tour? You have any idea how excited I would be? PayPal, send as friends, avoid fees, yes. Stephen Potts says, well, they're dumb enough that they've been harassing Steve for years for perceived slights and their weird sense of community, so pretty dumb. Yeah, I mean, you've gotta... It takes 30 seconds. All you have to do is actually look at what was said. And, like, it's very indicative with that ellipses in the middle of the sentence. Like, come the fuck on, dude. All funding will go to legal costs. All funding will go to legal costs. Transportation, filings, mailings. Transportation, filings, mailings, or any other use I deem required. And or any other use I deem required to obtain justice and fair compensation from Ms. Paulson. Page not found? Page not found. I don't know. Mark Caesar says, I'm not familiar with the court system. Does the defendant need to pay the litigation fees when they lose? I have no experience with courts. It depends on the case. In this case, as well as in the non sequitur show case, legal fees have already been awarded to Steve in the non sequitur show case. It's just a matter of they still have to determine the amount. So if the defendant loses, then yeah, they would have to pay for everything. There's not really any reason to compensate somebody who wasn't able to make their case. So if you're talking about like Steve and KJ, if Steve beats KJ, KJ's paying for his legal fees, more than likely. And if KJ beats Steve, then Steve may have to pay KJ's legal fees if, like, depending on how the case would go. I don't see that happening. I don't... Steve doesn't fuck around, especially if he's gonna go this far on something. Like, why would he put his eggs in a basket like that? And he's not much for bluffing because he's kind of shitty at lying. So, I don't think Steve would even bother going to court if he didn't think he had a solid case. Better to PayPal instead gives 30% to, yes. Yes, if you become a member or you super chat, 30% of that goes to YouTube. So, you know, however you want. After all this with Kyle and the rest of the idiots, my faith in humanity is shaken, to say the least. Yeah, people gonna people, man. Humans are weird and dumb all of the time about everything. I don't know what to tell you. It certainly, like, feels like the dregs of society. They're obviously not afraid. Oh, they obviously are afraid of Steve's case. Is Nate the lawyer worried he would be proven wrong so much he does this? I mean, I don't think I've seen Nate be correct about much. Basically, anytime he's going against Steve for whatever reason, probably because he's fucking obsessed with him, there's always like a lilt. There's always I did a whole other video looking at, I'll grab that video too and put it in the description, or in the chat for you guys, where I took some time to look at what Nate was saying. So let's, here we go. Here you go. Enjoy. I had to bring Claire with me for that one because of how fucking absolutely batshit insane it was. I think the other one was this one. So if you wanted to, like, sort of see just sort of an example of the fuckery that is afoot that this Captain Clippy over here gets into, here you go. Those will catch you up if you are interested. Paying the other side legal is not generally done, but depending on the circumstances and what she actually gets found liable for, she may be made to pay them. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It certainly is a dependent on the case. I would suspect that if Steve wins, KJ will be paying the legal fees, and Steve was already awarded them in the non sequitur showcase. Twitch says, that is something I respect about Steve. His main goal is justice, something I hold in very high regard as well. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. There are things to criticize Steve on, and that's totally fine. It's just like cutting off his sentence halfway through to make it seem like he's gonna just take money and do whatever he wants with it when he was very, very clear about what he was actually saying. Like, I feel like if I was gonna respond to Nate on Twitter, I would just take the second half of the sentence and just post that. I would just take this. I would take this and just post the whole sentence and be like, why didn't you post the whole sentence? Fuckhead. Like, this is like quote mining, cherry picking, clipping out of context. Like, I don't know, you want a list? You want a list? Oh my goodness. It's just sad. It's just sad. It's depressing. It's pathetic. Come on. Come on. Come on. You gotta do better than that. You gotta do better than that. This is worse than bare bones minimum, man. Like, come on. Come on. A little bit of effort. I'm gonna try so hard for so many years, and then, like, you'd think you'd get better at this. You would think, if you spend so much time. You treat this like it's a full-time job. You would think that doing it for so long would make you better at it. Just on, like, principle. Like, don't you not want to be better at the thing you're trying to do? My goodness. Alright. Yes, Trish, thank you. Please hit the like button, subscribe. If you are interested in supporting me, you can join us on Patreon or in members. You will be able to join us in the Discord, where you can see a little bit more of the shenanigans that we get up to in the background, some of the fun stuff we get into that actually does not end up making it out into the rest of the world. If you're going to take someone out of context, you probably shouldn't do it when it's so easy to find the actual quote. Yes, that also. The full context of the sentence was shared to Nate in the replies by Letty. You should see the replies. Did you find Letty? You know, I've seen Letty on Twitter a good number of times. I love Letty. Letty's hilarious. That man and or woman is like some top tier memery. Then again, all the people that listen to him won't actually do the research, so that's the key. Well, yeah, this is why Stephen Potts is correct. That's why I was saying, like, if you are so dumb to believe this, you must have higher than a 62 IQ. Like, come on, try a little harder. For anybody who doesn't know the 62 IQ joke, these people have been trying to say I'm stupid and have a 62 IQ for ages, so I just own it. What the feck is wrong with people? I don't know. Yes? Everything? I was going to screenshot it with the statement, context is key, and see how long it takes to get blocked. That's funny, I like that. Hawk Skull, that's funny. Uncovering Hypocrisy said 3 weeks ago, Katie called Nate a coward, also called Unirock a coward. It's shocking to me how obsessed they are with her and what a hate boner they have for Steve that she can call them out. Yeah, it's like it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend situation, right? So, like, none of these, like, they don't like each other. They're not friends. This is not a thing, right? So it's funny to see that Nate's gonna come in swinging out here. He's gonna go to bat for Katie again after throwing her under the bus and after she threw him under the bus. He's gonna come out swinging again on her behalf to For what? Because you don't want to see justice because you don't like the person who's gonna get justice, and the reason you don't like the person is super fucking petty. Super fucking petty. Your 62 IQ, your 62 beats too dumb to be tested. Oof. Big oof. Well. This seems a lot more the enema of my enemy is also my friend. It sort of feels like. Every so often I see these kinds of things and I just have to double take and be like, I'm sorry, what? Where are you deciding to go with this? Why do you think this makes you look good? I guess now, actually, if he's gonna come out and provoke people, because nobody's been talking about him for a while. If he's gonna come out and provoke, then I guess I may have to bring up my little clip that I have of him. It's time to whip that out of my back pocket. Oh, hey Manya, how's it going? Enemy of my enemy is my friend, but Uni is his own worst enemy, and that makes him my friend, according to Katie. Yeah, I guess. It's hard to keep track of. You didn't miss much, but we're just wrapping up. I was just taking some questions. All I can think of is all the parody songs, and I really hope that I'm looking forward to my last Keeping Up with Katie Joy. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to my last video that has to do with the My Truth series of blogs. I'm looking forward to the end of, like, the Dumb Feck Friday stuff. I'm looking forward to, I don't have to talk about this. This is now, I'm looking forward to the last non sequitur show filing reading. Like, I'm looking forward to those things. They're, like, the end is there. There is going to be there'll be a cap that gets to get put on stuff. There'll be a nice little bow tie that gets dropped in. And I'm looking forward to that day. And I really hope it's obvious enough that I can put it in the title. The last one ever! We don't have to talk about Katie Joy anymore! Yay! Oh my god, we don't really have to talk about a bunch of crazy people crawling around Steve anymore. Yay! Yeah, see, Rez is right. We're all looking forward to the last one. I mean, just asking questions, right? Sadly, it will never end. There will always be another jackass. I mean, yes, but also, right? It's one of those things where you get to a point where things are, you don't have to talk about that thing anymore. Like, it's done. And so no matter how much other people decide to talk about it, you don't have to. This is why we don't tend to talk about things like rape apologetics anymore. We don't have to. If we're talking about it, we're talking about it in its legitimate sense of where it's problematic and where we actually see rape apologetics. We're not talking about it around the same issue anymore, right? It's more of a... It's been done, right? At least it will be a new one. Yeah, there's also that, right? Like, there's just, I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind talking about things when I think things are necessary to be talked about, but I don't like being forced to talk about things that I just don't want to. So, I mean, that's how I feel about it. Do we really need to talk about Katie? She has to subpoena half the internet to silence people. I know, right, Puck? Oh, no. Alright. let's get out of here. Thanks everybody for coming. I gotta go take my dog for a walk. He seems... I gotta take my dog for a walk? Do I gotta take the dog for a walk? You wanna go outside? You wanna go for a walk? Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys next time. I will be back soon, but I'm not sure when. Find me on Instagram, I guess. I'm doing cooking streams over there. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.